Hello again, everyone, and a special welcome to those of you who are here for the Fodder School Hop Drop. Welcome. And for those of you that have been watching my channel for a while, I have talked several times about Fodder School and how much I love Fodder School. So this video is going to be a tour of all of my finished projects. Well, the majority of my finished projects for Fodder School 1. What I did want to say right off the bat is that this is part of the Fodder School Hop, so there will be a link down below to all of the different videos and to Tiffany Sharp's channel, where she will have a playlist of all of the different videos where people will be going through their finished projects. And you can find all that below. But I'm going to start with the very first month's final project. So it started in October of 2021, and as I am speaking now, it is September. So we just had the final project drop for September, and that is the final project for Fodder School 1. And I am enrolled in Fodder School 2 because otherwise I'd be going through some serious withdrawal because this has been such a fabulous class. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go on to the first project, which is for the month of October in 2021, and the instructor was Tiffany Sharp. And so for those of you that don't know, the course is broken up into two main chunks per month, one where you make fodder, collage fodder, and then another lesson towards the end of the month where you actually make a final project using that fodder. So this is the final project from October, which is a Fodder Keeper, which was a fabulous idea to have at the beginning of the course because you make so much fodder throughout. Actually, so this is slimmed down. I have taken a lot of the fodder out of here, mostly because it's been used, which is kind of amazing because we did have a month or two where we used fodder that we made throughout the course. But this is so I know I showed some books I had made in Fodder School before, but this is actually the first book that I have ever literally made. And it was really quite simple due to the wonderful instruction. You could make it different sizes depending on what you wanted to hold in it. And then inside, it has all these great pockets. There's still some fodder in here, but not a whole lot because, like I said, I have used a lot of it and I'm looking forward to making some more to put in here. So it has, it had a whole bunch of ways to customize in the lessons. So you could have full pages or partial pages to hold littler pieces or bigger pieces. But as you can see, there's still some little bits of fodder in here. And this is such a great project to start. I'm not going to talk about how these things were made because that is for the lessons in Fodder School. If you would like to enroll in Fodder School 1 or 2, there will be either a link down below or Tiffany Sharp's channel will have a link. We haven't worked that out yet, but check below. So yeah, so I'm not going to be talking about how these are made. I'm just going to be doing a little tour of the finished projects. And with this one, I embellished with some of these that I have gotten from Summer Wind Art. These are the little beads that can also be used on traveler's notebooks, but I thought they looked really cute on the spine of this. Okay, so let's go on to the next one, which is November. I have a big pile on the floor here of all of my projects. So this is November's project, and it was taught by Dee Catrone. And so like I said, each of the lessons are broke up into two. Oh, and I meant to say for October, the first set of lessons, we did some watercolor florals, which I didn't have any in my Fodder Keeper because I had used them all that I made, but you will see those later on in some of the other projects that I'm going to show. For this project in November, we had stamp carving lessons at the beginning, and then this is the final project, which is a little bit of a diorama. My screen size is a little bit smaller, so I may have to move this around for you to fully see. But this is, it's sort of like a book, but it's meant to be displayed. So I had some yarn around here. We've got to unwrap that. Oh boy, so much yarn. Okay. And then it has this little closure. And actually you'll be seeing more about this writing in one of the later lessons, but I took a little bit longer with this project. I didn't finish it that month. And then I incorporated some of the lessons from future projects from that date into this. And I'll talk about the crazy writing stuff. And then here on the back is more of it. So this is not going to be shown most of the time. If you open it, it's been a little while since I've opened it. So here I have a little diorama with some, what are these things called? They're like little chipboard things. I've forgotten the name of them. But then these were all made using my stamps that I made in the class. And then we did have some lessons on distressing these little pieces of chipboard. And you are going to see some dog fur, probably in some of my things, because I do have a lovely little dog. But this was essentially my ode to Watership Down with this. And these are all pages of the book here that are inside. These were tape transfers, and that, again, was another lesson in the class. So there are just so many great tips in all of the classes, and you really learn a lot, and you can apply those to all kinds of things in the future. Okay, so the next one is December, and that was by Amy Bishop. So this is a little big, so I'm going to have to go, let's see if I can go this way. I'm going to show it to you on the side, and then I will show you top to bottom, because this is actually not the angle I would put it at on the wall. So this was our final project, which was a collage piece in this distressed frame. And again, all of these things were covered in the class. And the first set of lessons, we learned how to make all of the collage papers that we ended up using here, and dyeing fabric. So much fun. I really enjoyed this one, and I really liked the papers that I got out of this one. It's I think this one was a little bit more distressed than a lot of the other ones, but I really did, as far as the papers go, but I really did love this, and I loved my finished project. This is actually in my living room now. Okay, so that was December. So let's go on to January, where we had this lovely lesson with Autumn Moon. So this is the class where we did the handwriting exercises that you saw here. So basically there were a bunch of lessons in the first half of the course that taught you how to not just hide your writing, like if you want to do some kind of secret writing in your journal and you don't want other people to read it, and also just sort of different graphic ways to make your writing look different. So that's some of that I incorporated into this project from November. And then the final project was this little gatefold journal where I had the same yarn there. And so we made all these little pages, and then there's some more of the writing styles that we learned, and then we learned how to make this whole little book. I'm not going to go into the book too much because I have actually covered this book in one of my videos where I went through all the books I've made in recent courses. Okay, so what do we have next? We have February, which was one of my favorites. I had to get all of these, and I actually have something framed over here as well to show you. So February. So the first half of the class was making these little fussy cut bits and all the different methods you could use to make them. And then these are part of the final lesson, which is little assemblages, incorporating backgrounds and all the little pieces that we learned how to make. And I kind of went crazy with this and made all kinds of little bird assemblages and animal assemblages with little vintage papers. I have been incorporating these into so many different projects, and I know I've shown these on the channel before because I absolutely love them. They are so amazingly fun to make and to look at, but I've been incorporating them into all kinds of things, and you'll actually see them incorporated later on in some other lessons. And then this is going to give you a little bit of glare, but here, I'll hold it this way. And this is one that I framed. So I have a couple of these framed on my wall, and I just love them to bits. Okay, so let's go on to March, which was by Rebecca Chapman. And these are the two finished collages I made in that class. The first half of the class was making the papers that were used in these collages. And these are the final pieces. And these are also some of my favorite finished products from the class, and I have these up on my mantle in my living room as well. And what's so fun about Fodder School is you learn so many different methods, and like I said, you can apply them all over the place. Okay, so then April, this is actually not the April final project. This was a bonus lesson, or not a bonus lesson, this was a Fodder School challenge. But what we did make in April was little artist trading cards like these. So I do have them in this little book. So this is just a couple of examples. And then the first half of the course was making all of the, what she called micro fodder to go into these cards. And of course the backgrounds. But these were so fun. And then we ended up doing trading with whoever wanted to do that in the course, and that was also really fun. So I got some other people's work, which I actually have framed elsewhere. And like I said, this was a part of the Fodder School Challenge, which if you enroll in Fodder School 2, those lessons will be available to you. And this was just a little accordion fold book with pockets. Super fun. I made 2 of them. I'm not going to open that other one and show you more ATCs because I want to make sure I can show you all of the other projects before we end today. Okay, so that was April, and now on to May. And this is another one that I have framed. This is actually not the only one I have made in this class, but I wanted to show you one of the final products. So again, the first half of the course was making the collage fodder that we used for these collages, and then this was one of my final projects, which so cool. Each lesson I chose a different color scheme, which, I tend to use a lot of the same colors again and again eventually. But I learned so much about color composition in addition to making collage fodder. All right, so that was May, and then let's go on to June, which was an interesting month because we used fodder that we made throughout the lessons to make these little cards, and she actually showed some additional methods for making cards. I'm just going to put those up. And then after we'd made these little cards, there was the opportunity to, so these don't have the little affirmations on them. So we did do that. I send a bunch out to places to donate cards like this. The classroom provided several places that were looking for donations for things like, what were we calling these? Kindness cards, so that they could give them to employees in the hospital or something like that. There were a variety of different things, military members who need some cheering up and that sort of thing. So the final product here would have little sayings like, you rock, you matter, you are loved, that sort of thing. And then there were some of those affirmations provided as well if you couldn't come up with your own or wanted to supplement your own. So these would have little sayings, and I have given away all of the ones that I had that had the sayings on them. I could put more on these, which I do plan to do. But I just thought that was a really nice way to give back as part of this class, which was really, really a beautiful idea. And these cards are really cute using all these little bits of fodder that you would have otherwise thrown away. Although, maybe not me. I don't throw away that stuff. All right, so that was June. And now for July, that is okay. Had to find that one there. This was by Roxanne Paget. Oh, and if I didn't say, April was Sarah Gardner and May was Laura Dame. June was Tracy Wozniak. And then this one is Roxanne Paget. And so this is a accordion fold book. And then like the others, we made the fodder for this beforehand in the first portion of the course. And then we made the final project here as the final project. And this was so fun. The instructor's example had little dress forms instead of suns and clouds that I had on here. And that was a really cool idea too. I kind of want to go back and do another one with her original idea. Okay, so that was July. And then we have August, which I have definitely shown on the channel before. These lovely handmade books with fabric and paper that were the final projects. And I have incorporated a lot of elements from prior classes. I'll just go through really quickly. So, and there were some lessons in this month as well on how to make these little fussy cut. I think she was calling them a little bit more distressed elements to put in here. But, and she taught us how to make the pages. And this was one of my favorite lessons. It's so comprehensive. And then here's one of my little bird assemblages. And then the second one, I kind of incorporated the idea of affirmations for myself. And you'll see some of this. This is actually from the current month's lesson, September. But I included all of these little bird assemblages here and include affirmations on the pages. And okay, so here's one of the watercolor flowers that we made in October, and then I combined it with a little assemblage. So these things play off of each other, and you can definitely use some of the fodder from other lessons in different lessons if you want to do that, or, you know, just go off on your own and create something awesome. Like this was from, no, this was from this lesson, but this was from a different lesson. And yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole book, but you get the idea. And now I am going to show you the final month's lessons, but I have not finished the completed project yet because those videos just came out. But this is by Kelly Anderson, and we made, so the final project is making a traveler's notebook, and then we made different bits of fodder to go into the notebook, like this little, I don't know what you would call that, trifold thingy. And then I actually added a little closure to an insert that would go in there. And all of these little bits, she told us methods to make those. And then in here, and faux postage, which is one of my favorite lessons. I love the faux postage, but here's some just bases for journal pages that I made based on some of those first lessons. And then in here, I have all of my little faux postage, which is super fun, you guys. I am going to go off on a variety of different, I'm going to go a variety of different ways with these because they were so fun to make. But let me just put some of those out, and you saw some of those in the other book as well. Okay, well, that is the final month. There's so much goodness to show, but I do want to keep this video under 20 minutes. So I'm going to leave you with that. And to continue on the hop, please feel free to look at the links below to go to the next video, or go to Tiffany Sharp's channel for the full playlist. All right, well, thank you for joining me. I hope you had a great time looking at all of these. Again, if you want to enroll in Fodder School 1 or 2, you'll be able to do that through the links provided. I hope you subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.